Dceric here, and today I'm going to be showing you Metropolis Street Racing for the Sega Dreamcast. It's also known as MSR. Now, you're probably wondering why you see a clock on the screen here. Well, this game is in real time, and I mean by that, the racetracks are based in the UK, Japan, and the United States. So, depending on the time that you are based in, it might be nighttime, might be morning, or whatever, it will be exactly for the time that that country is based on. So, yeah, that is another interesting feature. So I'm Eastern time, and it is pretty late here, about midnight now. So it'll be nighttime in the United States, it'll be close to morning time in the UK, and it will be daytime in Japan. Maybe just getting to dark. Now, of course, you see the kudos system. Now, for those of you who have played Project Gotham Racing for the original Xbox and Xbox 360, the kudos system started with Metropolis Street Racing. And the only reason why you don't see Metropolis Street Racing on the Xbox and Xbox 360 is because the name was licensed by Sega. The game was created by Dceric, so they were able to use the same system, but they had to use a different name, and Project Gotham was what they used. Alright, so now I want to create a new game here, and I'm going to put my first name in. Well, you already know what my first name is, which is Eric. Okay, so the first and last name are not even really essential to the game, so I don't know why that is so important. Your username is what will be used most in the game. So, there you go. There is some differences though compared to Project Gotham Racing, and you will see quite a bit of the differences. Yeah, the Project Gotham series is a lot easier than Metropolis Street Racing. Alright, so now we're going to save the game, and the game takes up about 68 blocks on the VMU. So there we go, now it's saved. Now we're going to load the game. And the first thing we want to do is get a new car. Now the funny thing about getting a car in this game is most games you buy a car. You use your money to get a car. But in this game, you actually have to do a challenge in order to get a car. So each challenge is just beating a lap record. So as soon as you beat the record, you will continue on to go through the game. And later on, you will unlock cars in the game, and you think, okay, well, I unlocked a car, I get to use it. No, the same thing goes with that. You have to do a challenge in order to use that unlocked car. Alright, so it is nighttime in Seattle, as I had said. Now, each track has its own music, and, well, not each track. Each country that a track is based on has its own music. Seattle has 2 radio stations, and it's usually either country or a heavy metal that sounds like it came from the 80s. It's actually pretty decent, the metal music, but the country music is really strange. Considering Seattle at the time, well, of making of this game, was more about Soundgarden, and even Nirvana was still pretty popular at that time, and Red Hot Chili Peppers, but yeah, the country threw people right off in this game. It was funny music, but it's not great. Okay, so we unlocked the car here. I still want to talk more about the music as well. The UK has one pretty interesting band in it. I'm not really sure what the rest of the music sounds like, but I know there's one song that sounds similar to what you would hear from maybe bands like Oasis. Then, of course, you go to Japan, and the music there is either in Japanese or there's one English song. Now, I will explain just a little bit here in the main menu. Street racing is where you continue the progress of the game, you unlock cars and all that. Then you got time attack mode, which is, I heard, really hard. I had not even played that mode. Then there's quick race, where they choose a random race for you, and it's probably just as difficult. Then there is internet, and I don't know too much about the internet. I heard, I think you were only able to use a few cars in it. I don't even know, I think you were only to beat high scores, or even upload high scores. So it wasn't really essential. I heard it wasn't very popular. There is a multiplayer mode in this game. I heard that wasn't too good either. The single player mode is what makes this game what it is. Okay, so what you see here on the screen is your kudos in the upper left, and you see the chapter target right there at the right of the screen, and then each country has its clock at the top. San Francisco in the United States, London, UK, Tokyo, and it has its own clock as well. Alright, so we're going to do our first race here, and of course, if you didn't know this already, we're going to be doing a hot lap here. Now, usually hot lap races are either beat the lap record, or I forget what the other one is, but we might come across that. Anyways, hot lap is a good race for beginners, because what it does is allow you to get a lap record, and once you beat that, you have 2 laps to just keep getting kudos. And I'm going to show you exactly how to get kudos in this game. The kudos system is really hard in this game, but once you get used to it, sooner or later you won't even have to pay attention to it, as you know, when you get better in the game. There is something called unlocking jokers in the game, which essentially make this game pretty simple. So I chose 4.75 for the lap. Now, if you decrease the target time, then that'll help you get more kudos as well. Ooh, I got a penalty, so that will be marked off my kudos. And I'm going extremely slow, and there goes another kudos there. Okay. So there was some complaints about playing at night, and I will agree. It's really insane. You can't really see too much. The lighting system in this game is not that great. And, you know, there's no lighting on the cars, so that kind of makes things a little difficult as well. Alright, so I'm probably not going to be beating this lap here. And here we go. Yeah, not beating it this time. So I gotta beat my ghost car. You can turn that off too. I did when I first played the game, and I should probably should have turned it off now, because what makes it very difficult to play this game is you want to make sure that you're beating your lap record. And of course, the ghost just makes things a little more complicated, because you want to make sure that you get in front of them, because if you're not in front of them, then you're not beating the lap record. Okay, so, that was a good turn there. So yeah, it's nighttime here in Seattle, and as you can hear, I believe this, the music right now is country. That last one we played through that challenge was heavy metal. I know the areas, that's why I know that music is probably being played. So yes, every time you do a sharp turn using a handbrake, you'll see that woohoo on the screen, which is increasing your kudos for the race. So that really helps. And as I said, it's essential to get kudos in this game. So even if you get a penalty in this game, it might not even do that bad for you. So 3 laps, here we go. I have beaten it already. And this is where we get our kudos points. Okay, so we're going to continue here, and we hear that nice beep. So we get our skill points, then we get our style, which is I believe by the kudos, and then we get a decrease of penalty. And the funny thing is, well, if you fail anytime during a race and decide you want to redo it again, they will take points off from that as well. I have never seen anybody like. I don't think every race will decrease it and keep decreasing. I think it decreases to a certain point, maybe of what you started at on that race. So yeah, if you want to gain all that kudos back, then you wanna make sure you're doing that correct. Okay, so I'm gonna do that at 285. Also, if you do a perfect race, you will get kudos for a perfect race as well, which also increases more points. As I stated earlier, you will get jokers in the game. I didn't really use them or abuse that system too much because, well, I used it at points where it was necessary, because I think after a few thousand or so kudos points, you unlock a new joker, and you can unlock doubles or triples of jokers as well. So once you get further into the game, the jokers make the game a lot easier, and you'll just keep unlocking jokers, and then your kudos points just get higher. The beginning of the game is the most difficult, so that's just this game has a learning curve, is what I'm trying to say, and that's where you have to make sure you're doing things correctly. So the one other thing too in this game is the graphics. Yeah, they're not that great. Well, the cars, they don't look too bad, but there's a lot of like pixelation and stuff, and I was reading through some reviews, and they were stating that, you know, the Dreamcast was pretty far ahead of its time. I think the only reason why the graphics don't look that good in this game is because this was supposed to be a launch title for the Dreamcast, and you know, it takes a while for developers to totally take advantage of the system and learn what's inside and out. This system had a long development time, so there was not much they could do to make sure the graphics and that were that great. It's not a bad looking game, but it's not perfect either. Okay, so in this race you've seen I got no penalties. From what I've seen, I didn't see any penalties. So I should have got a perfect race here, and I'll get extra points for that, helping me to get more races in this game. Now, I am playing another save. I have got up to chapter 24. There is 24 chapters. Well, there's 25. There's the World Championship too, and then you beat the game. I have not beat this game yet. It is a little difficult. There's some challenges that are difficult along the way, but when you get to chapter 24, everything seems so easy up until that point. It just gets more ridiculous. So I'm going to go to 31.5, and there's hidden challenges in this game as well. Well, they're not so hidden, but you can use certain cars to do certain challenges that unlock more cars in the game as well. So this is where I was talking about with lighting. I mean, there is lighting on the cars, but it doesn't make the streets stand out, you know. So yeah, that's a little bit of a disappointment. The buildings have a lot of lights and all that, but none of the street lights really make the streets visible. You have to have your brightness settings up pretty high. So there's a lot of car licenses in this game. What do we have in this game? You've got the Toyota. What was that one vehicle? The Opel? Yeah. You got the Opel. There's many other cars in this game, and it's funny. I was hoping you'd get BMWs in this game, but there is none. It's funny because there's one song in this game that talks about a guy, well, one of the lyrics, a guy says he drives in a BMW or something like that, and there's no BMWs in this game, so it is quite hilarious that that was even mentioned. Again, because the music is not professionally produced, it was not released in stores or nothing, it was just on this game. So, yeah. It's a great game, it is fun, it is pretty complicated. I am just going to beat this chapter, and then that's about it, because there's just so much in this game. A few of the challenges in this game, I'm not sure if you will see a challenge in here or not on this chapter, but you have to beat a certain amount of cars in order to beat the race. Now, again, you can increase or decrease how many cars you want, and that might help you, but some of those races have a normal amount, maybe 10 cars or so, and you have to get them in 4 minutes, and you think, oh well, 4 minutes shouldn't be too hard. Well, guess what? It is really hard. You will not get the 10 cars in 4 minutes. Well, you will, but you have to make sure you make every turn as sharp as possible, and you're using the right car. Now, there is weathering in this game as well, and depending on the vehicle you'll be using, the weather can really be frustrating for racing. Some of the cars will spin all over the place, and some cars, they don't spin at all. One of my favorite vehicles in the game is a Toyota, and the car does extremely well with the turning, so yeah. So some of the races in this game, you will be racing against other cars, and again, it's not all about getting first place, it's just about getting the kudos for the races. So you can place either third or second, so if you, for those races, you can place first, second, or third, and first would be the hardest. You can select what you want, and second would be a little bit easier. Oh, there we go, I got a penalty. So, well, third might be hard as well, I don't know. You get kudos depending on which place you come in. You might get more for first, you get a little bit more for second, you might get a little more for third. But you know what? The game is not totally dependent, well, it is dependent on it, but when you get further into the game, it might not become too dependent. Alright, there we go, beat that. 3.7 seconds left on the clock. So this is another mode in the game where you have to beat specific races. You might get a track or 3 tracks, and they give you a max time of what you're supposed to beat. And that is called timed run. So I have not got enough kudos to get to the next race. So now I gotta figure out what I have to do, or what race will give me more points. So, ooh, this is gonna be hard. You don't want to decrease by too much. And again, when I start this race, they're going to be taking points away from me. Okay, so I'm going to do this one. What was it, 37 seconds or 47 seconds? Yes, this game is overly difficult. Each of the final races in each chapter is usually placed on either 3 to 5 tracks, and you have to get, again, specific placement that you choose at the beginning of each race. Now, I'm sorry if I haven't explained too well. It is a really difficult game to explain because, well, there's just so many things in this game. so you pretty much got to do it on your own. People have told me as well that, oh, this game is difficult, and the Kudos has a learning curve. It most certainly does. So what I suggest, and maybe not the best suggestion, is to do a hot lap and pretty much cheat your way through. I might have to do that through this one. Alright, and we gotta beat the lap time for that. That's good. So that means now I will get more points. But I think I got a penalty, so I will be losing points. Doesn't matter if I get the lap record, because I already beat it. Now it's just a big bit of kudos. And as I said, the Jokers are the biggest help in this game. And then of course getting the better cars. There is ratios for each car. I think this one's a 1.0 or something like that. The Toyota I was talking about earlier is a 4.0 or a 4.2. The one car you really want is a Nissan. And that car we will be getting at the final races in the game. I heard that Chapter 25, which is the World Championship, you will be racing that car throughout each of the challenges. And then the final challenge, you have to get past a specific amount of cars. And I've seen a video on that, and it was just nuts, insane. I'm not perfect at this game, but man, once you get up there, it's gonna get more difficult. Alright. Okay, so I don't know if I can explain too much more about this game, because it is already about 22 minutes in. I really would have loved to show more, but at this point now, I am past the time. So I might just pull the plug on this for now. Like I had explained, you got your hot laps where you have to beat a lap record. Then of course there is hot laps where it will go off what is the best record you beat through one of the laps, and if you get a high, if you're too late on the time or whatever, it will increase that lap or something. I'm not really too sure how that goes. Then of course you got your timed run, which is they'll give you time that you have to beat through either one track, 3 tracks, or even 4 tracks. And if you don't beat it, you got to start it all over again. And again, if you restart a track, you lose points. Then there's the challenge, and those are either beat. I think it's beating specific times. Oh, actually no. In some of the challenges, you can. It will want you to do a specific speed for your car. So if it asks for 100 miles per hour, then if your car goes that fast, then you'll get the point for that, and you beat the race. Then of course some of the challenges, they want you to go past a certain amount of cars. Alright, so I decided to load my VMU to show you guys what the other races are about here. So yeah, there's chapter 24 and 25. It's insane. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the chapter 1, because that's all we need. And the next challenges are, you got one-on-one, which means you have to race against another car. And you think, okay, just because it has the same ratio as your car, you will win. No, they increase the difficulty on this car. So what you want to do is decrease when your component will race, and I'll show you what that means. So right now, the your component will take 30 seconds until he can start racing. Or you can start at 0 if you want, but you'd be insane, so don't even do that. Okay, so that's one-on-one, and then you've got Street Race, where, again, I said it doesn't matter if you get first place, but you have to select what place you want to come in. So there's first place, there's second, there's third. So if you choose first place, then you have to make sure you get first place to get those points. If you choose second, again, you have to get second to get those points. If you get third, etc. You have to get those points. But if you place in fourth on this one, then you get no points and you lose the points. Then the last one is the championship race, which is essentially a street race but placed on maybe about, well, actually, okay, so this one has 2 rounds. It'll be about 2 rounds up to maybe about 5 rounds, depending on which chapter you go through. So again, that is based on what place you choose. So, oh, sorry, it's points in this one. So if you want, if you choose 8 points, you got to make sure you get those 8 points. If you don't get those 8 points, then you lose. And then, of course, you get the, you can put it up to the highest, 20 points. If you get 20 points, you got to make sure you get those 20 points. And if you get the 20 points, you get the kudos. So there you go. And as you see at the top there, I said there's jokers you get in the game. I have 5. They're in the yellow J boxes up there under the kudos. And when you use those, you will get double the kudos points. So it doesn't even matter if you get penalties. Who cares? Every 1,000 points, I believe, or sorry, 1,000 kudos you get a new joker. That's how I think it is, or either 3,000. I'm not too sure. Sometimes you get 1, sometimes you get 2, sometimes you can get 3, sometimes you get the whole block up there. So that's about it. I really can't explain too much more. I wish I could have went through all the other races, but again, the time is just too much. I could have went on about a half an hour more, or an hour longer, but I don't think you guys will be watching. So again, this is Metropolis Street Racer, and you can get this for the Sega Dreamcast on eBay, or you can get it at a thrift shop or anything like that. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and got enough information. Again, just thank you for watching. I hope you come back again to watch some more videos by me. And if you like this video, give me a like. If you have something nice to say to me, you can message me on any of my social networks that I have available. Again, thank you very much for watching. See you again.